Hello, all. Hope you're doing well. We are continuing with our weekly review, and this week we are in the portion of Behar, on the mountain, in a literal translation. And this weekly portion is talking about, our focus is about the sabbatical year, the Shemitah year. And so in the Torah, Shemitah, which means lishmot, to release, releasing of the land, is described as the Sabbath of the Lord. Now, it's not the Sabbath of the world, and it's not the Sabbath for man, but it's the Sabbath for the Lord, which, of course, invites us to ask, why does God, right, need any rest? And to answer this question, we have to recall that the first mention of rest in the Torah is appearing in the account of creation, right? When God rests after all his work on the seventh day. Now, God resting is, in a sense, he allowed the world its autonomy, right? The entire world, in a certain sense, is God's Sabbath. What we're experiencing right now is the seventh day, is God's Sabbath. And it's the time where he decides not to change the order of his own world. And on one hand, this situation, of course, benefits us, right? Because this allows us to grow and to develop. And on the other hand, it also leads us to really focus on ourselves and our creation and forget that God is the creator of the world. And that is why once every 7 days, or once every 7 years, or multiples of sevens, the Jubilee year, is we let man and the land rest, right? To remember the Creator. And we mentioned in our prayers in Judaism that this is the taste of the future. This is true rest. So let's just expand on a little what this means, true rest. If we notice that the idea of resting every seven intervals, every 7 days and every 7 years, right, is an idea that's contrary to the natural development of the world, right? As the world progresses and develops, it doesn't ever stop. Yet here we're saying now once a week, once every 7 years, once every 50 years, we're stopping again, which is contrary to the development of nature in the world. The Talmud uh, tells us that the Gentile is forbidden to keep the Sabbath, and the reason it quotes scripture and says, "Day and night shall not cease." Right. This is a reference to Genesis 8:22, meaning in human society the need to continue developing constantly, and there's no place for rest until the world is entirely perfected. And when the world is perfected and complete, then there's the time for true rest. So in ancient times, the Romans and the Greeks really accused the Jews for being lazy because they had this day of rest during the week where they couldn't work. And to such an extent that even Philo of Alexandria, had to justify this matter by saying that resting on the seventh day gives person gives person like extra strength for the following week, right? So that was like the excuse we needed to come up with. But the question is real: like, why do we love rest so much? After all, this would allude to something a little more lazy in us. Now, Rabbi Sadia Gaon responded to this question, and he said that there's the positive root of laziness, which is a person intuitively feels the life of the world to come. He realizes that really we're supposed to be in this more restful state, and right now we're just still not there. And uh, that is what we're supposed to participate in and feel in the world to come. And you could even say, according to this explanation, lazy people that we know today actually have a very high intuition, and they actually feel that when they're resting, this is the place that they're destined to actually be. And in this sense, the land itself grows through the same process with our help once every 7 years, and through it, we feel that the world is destined to be perfect, right? And therefore, again, we make sure that we remind ourselves once a week, once every 7 years, that uh, the world eventually is going to be in this place where it could rest. And we behave as such. And we remind ourselves and put ourselves in a physical and mental place where we could have a taste of this eternal gift of true rest. I wish us all, as we come into the weekend, to take time to think about our week, our life, our family, allow us to be settled, to be restful, and to realize that while we are still need to perfect the world, uh, uh, our behavior and the way we interact with the world should be so in a way where we're moving towards a goal, which eventually means that we could participate with nature and God in a restful manner. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. Take care.